everybody. Welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star, and with me today is Kat. I'm sure you guys know who she is. Who is Nurse Flipper? No, everyone knows who you are, right?
I do not know.
So welcome in. It is Friday, November 10th. And just like every week, if you guys have any questions about reselling, you can put them in the chat and we'll answer them for you. And I'll ask Kat questions. I have some interview questions for her, and she can answer those. If you are new to the channel, if you follow Kat here and you don't know who I am, just real quick, my name is Star, and I'm one half of a team. My boyfriend and I do this together full time. And I guess I'm more of a reseller than a YouTuber, but I do some videos. And I would say if you're one of my subscribers and you don't know who Kat is, I'll let her tell you a little bit about herself.
Oh, you froze for me. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, just tell us a little bit
I don't know
about
if it's
yourself.
me or you. About me?
Yeah.
So I'm a full-time reseller. I think I'm more of a reseller than a YouTuber too. I've been reselling off and on since '99, a very, very long time. And I went full-time in February of last year. I quit nursing. And yeah, we've bounced back and forth the last 6 months between eBay and Whatnot. And eBay currently is our number one. Whatnot was for about 6 months, but it is not anymore. It is gone almost flat. So we are back to hitting eBay pretty hard again.
Yeah, I remember when I was a guest on your channel back in May, you were hardly selling on eBay at all, and Whatnot was your main income.
Yeah, and it's really switched, and I'm actually sourcing. I'm waiting for some stuff to come in because I'm going to try a little bit different business model over on Whatnot and see if it works. So I haven't totally given up on it yet, but our focus is definitely more on eBay again.
What do you sell?
On eBay or wherever?
Just in general.
Everything. Whatever I can buy that'll
That's what everybody
sell.
always says. I'm an everything seller, whatever sells.
So right now, we're mainly like over half of our sales on eBay are designer empty boxes. I bought 2,000 designer empty boxes, and those have brought our eBay total up to 15,000 for the month, which is pretty impressive. I am happy with where it's at. We were at 20,000 this time last year, so hopefully it'll go back up. But yeah, over half the sales are empty boxes, empty dust bags, and ribbons from the boxes. I separated them. So
That's fascinating to me. Like,
it's absolutely insane. It is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Keith will
these
sell
boxes. They sell for more than what I would pay for a pair of shoes that go in the box. Like the empty box sells for, like the highest we've sold so far. I sold somebody 20 of them at $125 each. So yeah.
Wait, one person bought 20 boxes?
And I drove to Miami and thrifted. It's on my other YouTube channel, not the Nurse Flipper. It's on Cat's Treasure Hunting, and delivered them. Yeah, it was over $3,000 order. And off I went to Miami because I was like, I don't want to pack all these boxes. And so I know there's good thrift stores down there. So I kind of made it a dual purpose, and I delivered them. And then as soon as I got back, they bought 10 more, and I shipped those. I did not go to Miami again.
Okay, first of all, it blows my mind that those sell, but
it's crazy.
Who is sitting around in their mansion spending $5,000?
So it's not. So it's actually resellers. I met them. I wonder if I'm in the wrong niche. I will tell you that. So they sell the purses. So the purses that go in these boxes that they paid $125 for sell for $5,000 up to $30,000 a purse. And that is their business. They do luxury clean outs of closets. And so my boxes that they paid $125 for probably increased the value of their purses by $500 or more. So they're being smart, but it, like, what they were driving and their lifestyle is so different from mine. I'm like, huh, but could you imagine the cost to like buy and resell luxury purses. Like I don't have that bankroll. I can buy the empty boxes, but I can't buy the purses.
I mean, you're talking to the person who goes and gets 99-cent jeans and flips them.
Well, that's me too. So my average on most of my stuff is $1. And I actually, the boxes, I'm probably $2 in a box. So I'm close to, I like that dollar price point myself too. But I do pay up. But I'm like, I'm in the wrong business model when I see them driving a car that costs almost as much as my house. And they're resellers too, though. That's the cool thing. But yeah. So I think most of the boxes are going to people like us. Huh?
There'd be too much anxiety for me with that stuff. I'd be worried constantly about knockoffs and scammers. No one's gonna like try to scam me on my Walmart plus size jeans.
Yeah, like so I've done a few. I think the highest I sold two $3,000 purses, so I guess that's nothing to like really sneeze at. And I paid $800 a piece for those. And yeah, it was I don't know. I didn't worry too much. I did Google the person that bought it because I had to, because the same person bought both of my $3,000 purses, and it was a retired doctor's wife. You know, if somebody spends $6,000 in my store, I want to be nosy a little bit. So yeah, so I mean, I have sold $3,000 ones, but I think I'd be driving and flying all over the country. Here's your $20,000 purse, like hand delivering it. You know,
yeah,
I'd be so scared.
I don't know. And I don't know what I'd spend the money on. I'm not into cars and houses. I'd probably have like all signed first edition Stephen King books. And I'd probably buy a house just to have a library like Belle's, like a big one with the sliding ladder.
Oh yeah, that you climb up. I told Brad I wanted that in here and it didn't work. I don't have my slidey ladder in the shed because I have lofts like above my head.
We have a question. So I sell a mix of everything too. Any tips for selling large pieces of artwork? Is it worth putting on eBay or better to try and sell local or on a different platform?
So the last piece of art I sold that was large, I sold for $3,000. And that was about 2 months ago. It wasn't very long time ago. And I say it's worth it. I will tell you, I had it listed at $6,000. So I accepted half of what I wanted and what I thought it was worth. But I was only $500 in and sales were slow. So I'm like, I'm going to take this $3,000 and we're just going to call it a day. And I would say I use UShip to have it hand delivered, white glove service. So they pick it up for me, they wrap it up, and they hand bring it to that person. And it actually got there faster than UPS. They picked it up for me and it was in the lady's garage in Massachusetts the next day. So yeah, I wouldn't pack and ship. Or you can do, I see, have it professionally packed. But if it's like $3,000, like that one, I would just use UShip. I would use freight so you can have it hand delivered, and that way you don't have to worry about it.
And if they're selling for that much, it's worth the extra cost to protect it, to ship it, I think.
Yeah, it was UShip. So you can go on there and you'll put, like, I'd actually charged her for UPS $300. And so on UShip, I was willing to pay $300 for hand delivery, and somebody accepted my job and came the next morning. So it was actually pretty easy. You can put flat rate freight, but the problem is, like, mine went to Massachusetts, so just up the East Coast. If it had been going to California, I probably would have had to pay like $500. So if I had charged them $300, I would have paid the extra $200, because a $3,000 painting, I'd be willing to pay part of that shipping for them.
Yeah. She also says I would be scared to send. I'm scared to send luxury items. Just clothing, and I guess maybe it's because of what we were talking about before we came on, when you and I said we don't know jack about fashion. We wear
right. See, so that's the thing with me too, with the purses, and I'll tell you, and I haven't said anything about this on my channel. I actually just bought 2 Louis Vuitton bags that are worth quite a bit, and I bought them from Canada on an online auction, and I'm scared they'll be fake. So I'm probably going to have them authenticated. I know there are places I can send pictures to, because I would hate to like list them and then they go through, they will go through eBay authentication or Poshmark authentication, and then they're not real. So I think I'm going to pay whatever it costs me to get them authenticated. And if I'm out, they sell for like 800 to 1,000. So they're not like super high. And I paid like 150 to 200 for them. So I could be losing that, but I want to learn more about them. And if you don't have stuff and see it and hold it and touch it, you're not going to learn that. Like, I don't learn like watching. I have to like see and touch and feel to know, like, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like when I do vintage plush, I have no problem going, oh, I know this one's real and it's worth $1,000, but that's because I self-taught myself plushies. But I'm not enough of a girl. I don't know that I would ever understand purses or shoes.
I don't use them.
I have like it's not even up here. You saw it at camp, my crossbody little generic.
That's what I have, a crossbody for my GoPro, and that's the only thing I have.
Like a Walmart. It has like
and
a
I'm wearing
section in it for your
Crocs
cards
right now. So
yeah. I'm not enough. I'm scared because I don't know. But when it comes to video games and like electronics, I'm comfortable. But that's because me and Keith are nerds.
And I'm not comfortable with it. I would be more comfortable with the purses, even though I don't use them. I would be more comfortable with the purses because I'm not a video game person.
Yeah, we are. We're huge dorks.
And my husband is.
Yeah,
I'm not.
The majority of the expensive plush we find are video game plush. And so I'm like, oh, I recognize this character. I know who this is.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something too. I had a Kate Spade, like right after she took her life. And then I've had a Kate Spade and a Chanel and a Louis Vuitton I found at the Benz. And everyone was telling me they were real. And I got so nervous. I just sold them like locally at like half of what they were valued at. Because this was in 2017. I don't even think eBay had authentication back then. And I was so scared about.
I think they've just like added recently. But I think you can pay, like, I think there are services you can pay like $20 or something and send them pictures and they'll like give you a certificate of authenticity.
Yeah. I was just like, I found this real fancy doctor's wife up the road and she was like, I'll give you half of eBay cost. And I'm like, please, because I'm afraid of returns and negative feedback. And you sold me a fake because that looks really bad on your account.
See, I've had less trouble with the high dollar stuff than the cheap stuff. Like, it'll be a $3 or $5 item that the buyer is a pain in my butt. And the $3,000 purse, I never hear from them again and they're happy.
Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
A lot of people say that it's and I have a theory that goes with that. I think the people who are buying the lower cost items have less discretionary funds. So they're a little more protective of what they're buying and how they're spending
I would not say a little. That's not a word I would use.
I'm trying to be nice.
I know. Listen, some of these people, not all of them.
Kids.
Not all of them.
Okay, we're going to go through some comments here. Dealing with health. Let me tell you about.
Oh, I forgot. They told me they're changing my plan. I should probably pay attention to that, huh?
Yeah. I have to re-up every year. So I sent my tax return in and I got something back. We need more proof of your income. So I had to sit on the phone for half an hour. I'm like, you've always taken my tax returns before. I'm self-employed. I don't have any more proof of my income. You want me to print out my eBay stuff?
Yeah, that's crazy. See, they haven't asked me for that. I just tell them the amount, but then I have $5 million I owe at tax time. And that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not much. Not much. It was well over 10 grand. It was not.
Yeah, we got an extension this year because we were like, well, we're gonna use our money for as long as we can before we give to Uncle Sam, because it was a lot too. And then we got hit with all these extra fees for the extension and all this. And I was like, I honestly had never done one before. So I was like, I didn't know they hit you with all those fees. And I'm like, well, we're never doing that again.
We did an extension too.
I don't understand why they let you have an extension if you're going to get late fees. Like, isn't the whole point of an extension so that you're not late?
Yeah, I don't know. We had an extension to file, and then we had to get an extension, and we like paid half and half because it was such a absolutely ridiculous amount.
I just don't like to give, like, I want to hold on to my money for as long as I can. Like, if I can file on April 15th at midnight, I'm good, right?
We don't file till June. We don't file till June.
Yeah. We just did ours.
So I'm double extending.
It's, I don't want to give them my money.
Yeah.
Another question. I am a member of a Facebook reseller group, and someone said if you want to increase your sales, you must have a warehouse. This is just me and Keith in a townhouse, and we make, not this year, but we usually make 6 figures, but not when you move back from Florida. But you can do it with just yourself. I have friends who do it alone. I have friends who do it with their spouse. I have friends who have employees, storage units, where all kinds of people, but you don't.
Yeah. I don't think you need somebody. Yeah, no, like, I mean, I don't have a warehouse, but I do have a second house that I'm using. So I kind of, I guess, have a warehouse-ish. And I do have people working for me, but that's because I have eBay, Whatnot, and YouTube as like 3 full-time jobs pretty much. So I was making well over 6 figures with just me. My husband didn't help really much at all. And I didn't even have the shed when I was making $100,000 a year, and it was just me. So I would say absolutely not. Like, you do not have to have a warehouse. You do not have to have help. I will say, like, the higher average sales value you can get is going to help you get more to a good income. But like last year and probably this year as well, like and this is like ridiculous to even come out of my mouth, but we made almost $500,000. I don't know where it went. Don't ask me because I really don't know. But, well, I have multiple employees. So yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, you know,
So,
I mean,
that was like, you can do 100K easy by yourself. Easy.
Yeah, before we moved to Florida, we lived in an old Victorian, and we just used the entire 3rd floor attic as storage. And now here, the entire 1st floor of the house is all garage and basement, and then the living is 2nd and 3rd floors. PA is weird. So the whole 1st floor, we've just, you got to learn how to utilize your space. So we definitely have a good inventory system. We have 30 things in a bin. We have our bins around the perimeter, and then in the middle, the shelves with the plush. Under the stairs is the extra desk pile. But if you look at your space and you can envision how to use it to your best ability and store your items, we have 3,000 active, and probably twice that in the desk pile. I was telling Kat we're storing up because we don't like the source in the winter. And between, just a couple of boxes that are in my office and our garage, that's like 9,000 pieces of inventory in a house with 2 people working. So, yeah. I mean,
yeah, you can do it. And like, if you don't have a lot of space, do jewelry or do something small that doesn't take a lot of space, and you could still make that much money with not much space, for sure.
Yeah, Plush is going to take a lot of space. Let me just tell you about my friends. My friends are fat and they take up room. But these bags back here, if you can see it, they're the rectangle bags from IKEA. The long.
Yeah, that's what we use. We have like 50 of them. We have tons of them.
Yeah, they're really good for Plush because you can cram them in all the edges and like really stuff it. But then it comes a pain in the butt when they sell. But you can get a lot in there, and they can fit on shelves or crevices. Dorks represent a fake Tommy Hilfiger. Who the heck's knocking off Tommy Hilfiger?
Listen, people knock off almost anything. It's absolutely ridiculous. So crazy.
Your camera just went out.
Yeah, let me see if I can get it.
You're on with a puppet.
Listen, Harry Humstone gave me that puppet. He's over on my shelf too. She didn't mean sex. She meant socks.
I was laughing.
There we go.
Yeah, I learned they only extend the filing, not the payment. We learned that the hard way this year. We procrastinate every year. One, we don't like to deal with it, and two, we kind of feel like it's our money. Let's hang on to it as long as we can. We keep.
So mine's a different reason. Like, I don't know about you, but like all the affiliates and stuff, some of the 1099s don't come in. And if you wait until June, there's a government website that you can go to and you can request all the 1099s that were submitted on you. So we do that so that ours isn't like off kilter, because there are just so many different, like they might be one for like 20, like something ridiculous. And in June, they have to have posted all the 1099. So that's why we do it. And our accountant recommended we did that every year. So we extend every year.
So we just keep really good books. And if we don't have a 1099, we just report what we made. And
I'm horrible.
If we got audited or they wanted the 1099, I guess we'd have to wait to June to show it. But no, we do accounting every week. Keith made these really cool spreadsheets. He's the nerd. He's a math nerd. And he made really cool spreadsheets that do all the math for me so I can just enter stuff. And we got the ones for the bills and the personal side of our lives. We got the business. We're very organized. I just always I'm filing. I
didn't want to give them the money.
It's my money. I want to buy more inventory.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have friends. You just have to have discipline. I'm sorry, guys. I broke my chair, and it keeps
slowly going. I had one that did that. It would slowly. I'd be live, and then I'd be going.
Yep. And I was telling Kat, this is like a $300 chair because of my back. And so me being me, I'm waiting till Black Friday to see if I can get a replacement for half off or something. I don't remember the brand it is, but look, it's purple. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I have friends who do this like alone in an apartment and can make what they need. They just have to, like you said, do jewelry or something smaller. Hi, welcome in.
Hi, Cha-Cha.
Do you think starting a YouTube channel is recommended right now?
I think that if you want to do it, you should do it, and it doesn't matter when. But I really think that you should do it because you want to do it. And we talk about this on my live all the time. I don't think anyone should start a YouTube channel with the goal being making money. I think that is like leading, like that. It's not the right reason to do it. So if you want to do it to share or to teach or whatever you want to do it for, do it. By all means, do it. But I wouldn't set any expectations for it because it can be a very, very rough road. Very.
Yes.
Very.
Yes. And my long-term subscribers can attest that usually once a year I take a 3-month break because I just get burned out from doing YouTube.
It's very easy. And like I have 2 channels now. I've had them, and I actually took 5 months off of my second channel. I just started doing videos again last week. I took 5 months off, and now if you like, it's so hard to come back because everybody's forgot about you. They're not watching. And so now it's like starting a brand new channel again and having to build it back up. But yeah, the monetization rules actually got easier on YouTube.
Yeah.
They didn't get harder. They got better. And I mean, you could get lucky, and I tell everybody this, like, so I don't know if you guys know who Froggy Flips is. He started when I started and he has over 300,000 subscribers. So there is that end of the spectrum. And then I could tell you people that started when I started that are not monetized still. I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I'm on the higher end of the middle. I'm doing very well. I got lucky with a couple of viral videos that really boosted me. But that expectation is like so hard. And I will tell you from the other end of it, like having viral videos, I made like amazing money, but the downside of that roller coaster was so physically and emotionally challenging. It was so like the ride to the top was absolutely amazing, but the coming down was very, very, very hard. Very hard.
I have never depended on my YouTube channel for money. It makes money. It's nice. I could take 3 months off, and I have a couple of videos that every month will hit and pay that people watch all the time. So
Yeah.
I look at it like an affiliate. It's passive income. If I don't want to make videos, I still have some passive income coming in from older videos, revenue.
Yeah.
But when I start to feel that burnout, I just go away because I don't feel like I'm any good to anyone else when I'm forcing it. And I feel like people can tell when I don't want to be here. And you're really
I think it comes
struggling.
through. I think it definitely comes through if you're not feeling it. And especially if people have been watching you a long time. Like, it's so funny for me because over on Whatnot, when I do my sales, people know if I'm not in a good mood. I'm not telling them. They can just hear like the intonation in my voice and like what I'm saying, and they know. And they know when I've had a nap. They're like, oh, you had a nap today because I'm in a better mood. Like, Kat had a nap.
Yeah,
And
people
but
can tell
people,
for
people
sure.
know. Yeah, they know.
And then I'm also like, there are YouTube people. Okay, wait, there are people in our community, let me say this right, who are YouTubers first and resellers second, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not me.
Most of them are very forward about that, I feel like.
Yeah, like Harry Tornado is very upfront and honest about that.
Yeah.
Like, he will tell you, I'm a content creator who sometimes resells. I'm a reseller who sometimes makes YouTube videos to teach people what I do. So when it comes to Q4 or if our sales are down, we do need to do a hard push on the business, on the reselling. I'm going to put YouTube on the back burner and focus on my eBay and focus on my Poshmark. But I think if you want to start a YouTube, like Kat said, and you want to do your journey, absolutely. Because even if you never make money, it's always fun to look back. Like, I even go back sometimes 6 years ago and I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? What was I doing?
I can't watch mine. And it's so funny because I'm putting them out on Facebook. So it's probably confusing the heck out of a lot of people. But like, I had none of my videos on Facebook. So I'm uploading my my library to Facebook. So you might see 3-year-old videos when I was still in my house. I wasn't wearing any makeup or anything. And I was a hot mess when I first started. And so those are going out on Facebook, and it confuses, like, people are like, why are you still working? I thought you quit. Like, because I'm talking about I was working full time then still. So I'm confusing people by sending those older videos over to Facebook. But I'm trying to get my library over to Facebook.
Yeah, I'm about to do that too. I may wait till Q1 just because Q4 is so busy. And anything content related is always back burner for me. But Facebook,
there's a program that automatically uploads it. You don't have to do anything. It's like $20 a month.
What's it called?
It's called repurpose.io. Okay. I think I have an affiliate link, so you should tell me and I'll send you the thing. I've never used it.
Yeah. Because Facebook is now paying for over a minute-long videos. So
mine's kind of funny. I should look it up again. So I think I made like $25 last month, which is $25 I didn't have, right? Like,
well, I'm still not monetized on Facebook. I have to get some more. All my stuff's under a minute. It's the reels from Instagram.
Oh, yeah. So I started uploading my videos probably like 2 months ago. And then I just kept telling everybody on my my lives, and I finally got monetized. But it's like I said, it's like $25, but then I'm paying $20 for that program. So really I'm making $5.
Yeah, it was a sad day when Instagram stopped paying us because you could make $100 a day for 30 seconds of a stupid video. You really could.
But like once you hit $100, it was like cut off.
They paid but penny. I mean, you could just like at the thrift store for 30 seconds.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
it was really great.
I need to do more shorts on Facebook because I think I think the shorts get more views on Facebook.
Yes. If you have a business entity, don't you have to file by 3/15?
So you have to at least file for an extension. So what we do is we file our S corp. So we are an S corp. We file our S corp, but your S corp. This is very, very accountant mumbo jumbo. Our S corp ties into our personal tax return, and so you have to file it, but you don't pay anything until you file the personal return. So our S corp is filed, but we do an extension on the personal. And then that's what the accountants told me. This is why I have an accountant, because we have payroll. We have 6 people on payroll. I have a lot going on.
Yeah, so we're both LLCs and we just split everything. Not LLC. Sole prop. Let me back up. Erase that. Keith and I are both sole props. And so we have it set up. We had help in the beginning with an accountant. And then he showed us how to do it ourselves. And because we are who we are, we're so cheap. I can't even buy a new chair until Black Friday. So we had him, actually was a friend, and he showed us how to do everything. So basically, when you're a sole prop, you're an individual. So the rules are different.
Yeah. And we file as a corporation. So that's like a whole different ball game. We started doing that last year.
Yeah, he's DBA the Hippo Hut, and I'm DBA Flippin Hippos. So we have it all split on paper, and then we just share the money and the bills.
Yeah.
I'm a new seller and mainly sell vintage decor. I have a vintage booth but want to sell online. What platform do you think is best to start on?
I say eBay.
eBay is going to be the hardest one to learn. So I always tell people.
That's why I think people should start on it. Yeah. Because then everything else is going to seem so easy.
If you can learn eBay, you can sell anywhere else. It's got a lot more to the listings, a lot more rules, a lot more this and that. But it also has the most eyeballs. It has the biggest platform, it's international if you want it to be. More people know about it. I mean, eBay's mentioned in books and movies all the time. Everyone knows eBay.
Yeah.
So I would say eBay. And then probably if you're doing a lot of vintage, your second one, once you learn, I always tell people, don't start cross posting, perfect one platform and then learn another one.
Yeah, I agree.
Your second one should probably be Etsy if you're doing vintage.
I quit Etsy.
I've never been on Etsy, but
Poshmark works well for vintage too, I will tell you. So we do a lot of vintage, and I do eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. Etsy, their fees renew every 4 months, and if you're not selling enough, that's what I ran into. I wasn't selling enough to really compensate for those. I wish they had like a store like eBay does, where you could, get 1,000 listings or whatever for $49.99 a month, where it's like one flat fee versus paying, every 4 months to renew them. Posh sales are better for me than Mercari. I think it depends on what you sell, honestly.
Yeah, like our electronics do better on Mercari. Women's jeans do better on Poshmark. Plushies do, I don't know, it depends on the time of year. I feel like plushies do well in the summer on Mercari, and then in Q4 they pick up on Poshmark and eBay. Coffee hour to talk about your journey would be fun. It's Mandy from Camp LP. Hi, I remember meeting you. We had a death. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. What is the crazy lamp lady selling? I have no idea.
So I am on it. I am one of the original. There are, I believe, 19 or 20 of us that started selling on the site. And basically, the district is a platform that lets anybody make their own platform. So Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, made her platform. She asked me to be one of the original 20 sellers. And then November 26th, we are all doing a live. We are going to be on all day on the 26th in 30-minute sessions. And then she will be adding sellers. So you can apply to be a seller on there. And she'll start approving people after November 26th. So it's basically just a small platform by the district website. She has created it. She's doing like vintage antiques and collectibles. And yeah, so super excited to be on there. I have a few things I put on auction, and yeah, but it's not, it's gonna, I feel like, take a while to build it up like any new platform. So like we're not making very many sales on there right now.
Yeah, I've heard about it briefly, like in passing, I should say.
Oh, Dom's on there,
parties.
Primetime Treasure, Sunny Las Vegas is on there.
I'm just really out of the loop. I'm very much a hermit. People are like, have you seen so-and-so's video? I'm like, no, they're my friend, but I haven't talked to them in I'm that person that will like,
no, that's me too.
For 6 months.
I only know this because Jocelyn asked me to be in it and I'm in it. Otherwise I probably.
I mean, like Kat and I hit it off. We were like, oh my God, long lost sisters, best friends. And we were just like hanging out. And then she'll message me on Instagram. And then like a month later, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm terrible. I didn't see your message. Sorry. And then she'll wait like 2 weeks and write back. I will be unboxing your video, or it's Friday. I've lost all will to speak English, apparently. I will be unboxing the Build-A-Bears. I was actually the accessories. I was telling Kat about that before we went live. This is who I got the Build-A-Bear accessories from. I'm very excited. So, probably not.
Oh, you know what I just got? And I got it by default. And I'm excited. I should do an unboxing of that. So I was bidding on a Lisa Frank lot. And I mean a big Lisa Frank lot. And I bid up to like $400 and something. It was on an online auction that I was buying jewelry on. And I always look through the whole catalog and I find some of the best things that way that I didn't plan on finding. So I bid to $400 and I was like, I've got to stop this. Like, this is way too much. And so the owner of the auction actually messaged me yesterday and said, so the bidder that won the Lisa Frank stuff fell through. Do you still want it? And I was like, I do want it, but I don't want to pay more than $300. I got a little carried away bidding. So they were like, well, how about $325 and no buyer's premium? I'm like, okay. So I am getting that lot. And one of the backpacks, I think by itself is worth like $250 to $300. So it'll pay for the whole lot because there's only one that's sold in the last 10 years. So I'm like it's like this lady it's like a giant lot. It took up a whole 6-foot table. I'm excited.
That is so, when I was in middle school and high school, I had Lisa Frank every
Yeah, me too. I should have kept everything. I should have kept it.
Is there a key to attracting buyers versus resellers on Whatnot?
If you know, let me know because I don't know. My Whatnot is in the trash right now. It is absolutely in the trash. And I'm very, very transparent about everything. So if you have a question, ask me. Whatnot was our main income 3 months ago. It started going downhill. I was losing money almost every single sale. And so now I've went from 5 nights a week down to 3 or 4. And if you go in there, I will end it early. I will just call it quits and end it. So I've been doing 50 to 75 items instead of 100. And I think I have a mix of resellers and collectors, but I think there are so many sellers on there that it's oversaturated. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter because there are some content creators that are going to have a ton of people no matter what. I am not one of them. So my following is resellers. That's what I have. I don't have those collectors that are going to buy tons and tons of stuff. So yeah, I think Whatnot needs to pull us more buyers in for everybody is what I think.
Yeah, I took a brief foray into Whatnot for 2 months, 1 show weekly. The last 2 shows I cut off early. Yeah. And Karen asked that question. Karen's my friend in real life. I met her at my local eBay meetups. If you live near the Pittsburgh area, we have a local meetup. We aren't meeting until the new year though, because we're going to take a break for Thanksgiving and
cold,
Christmas.
and they don't want to go outside.
Yeah. Also the holidays, and Q4 is busy. But Karen and I are friends in real life, and we had gone thrifting one day at Goodwill together, and I was expressing to her how frustrating it was, because the only people that were coming were my friends, my subscribers, and folks that wanted to pay $1, for these plushies, and I needed to at least get $2 or $3 to get my money and double it. And people weren't really buying. They were coming to support me. I was getting tips and stuff like that. But it's a lot different than a live show on YouTube too. The chat is always going here. People are always interacting with me. There's always energy. There's always questions to answer and chats to read. Whatnot people are weird. Like,
they don't even talk. I'll have like 60 people and nobody's talking. And
yeah,
I'm just talking.
You'll have like all these people in there. You call them out by name, like, hi, the flippin' Brit. How are you doing today? And nothing. They don't even tell you nothing. And it would just be really quiet. And my shows are weird because they're not weird, but I'm weird. I would take the plushies and they would sing and dance and do things. And after a while with 40 people and no one talking, I'm like, I feel weird doing this because there's no reaction. Like,
yeah, I get that in mine, and I have 50 to 60 people. But I will tell you what I have noticed for jewelry, because that's mainly what I sell. Yeah, well, so my following, some nights they talk and some nights they don't talk at all. And there's 60 of them in there. But some nights they are. And like Star said, I could ask questions and nobody, I'm like talking to thin air, but there are 60 people there. But I have noticed for me with jewelry, the better pieces people are willing to pay for. And I would assume those are probably more collectors. And I know some of my followers are collectors. So I know a couple of name brands of jewelry that I know I can get good money for. So my plan moving forward is to do probably 2 auctions a week of higher end. So theoretically, I will make more in those 2 sales than I was making in 5. So I've spent the money. It is on its way from wherever I bought it. I don't even know, somewhere on HIPPO. And when it gets here, I will do like sterling high-end costume. And the market's just changed for me. And I think the market changes on eBay all the time too. You got to kind of go with the flow as a reseller and pivot and adapt and overcome and figure it out.
Yep. But Whatnot is just, if I wanted to,
I don't think you can ever figure it. Whatnot. Me and my husband talked about that.
I would do pre-recorded, because I can sit here and be silly with my plush and pre-record a video for YouTube. And it just feels weird when you're like trying hard to interact and no one's interacting. And then it's like the energy level. Like if I have chat to feed off of and y'all are talking to me and it's Friday and it's the weekend and woo, energy. Yeah. But when you're just like, here's another Baby Yoda just fell.
Yeah, like the thing is, Star is throwing Yoda.
And my stupid chair.
So Flippin for Change says Whatnot moves way too fast for me. I love that Whatnot moves fast. And if you've been in my auctions, I run 15 seconds. There is no dilly-dallying between items. I run 100 items in 2 hours. And I run them fast. And that's why I like it. But I'm used to, like, we have our live every week, our podcast. So I'm used to chat going fast. But sometimes it doesn't. Nobody says anything, so there's no chat sometimes.
I had Keith helping out. He was over here in the background helping. That's not the one I meant to click. There we go. Do you strive to keep a certain number of active auctions going at all times, and how often do you rotate your content?
I strive to have 0. Do you mean on Whatnot or do you mean on eBay? Will you tell us? Because on eBay, I typically have 0 auctions, and I don't want auctions on eBay unless I happen to find that one rare thing. So on eBay, I don't like auctions. Do you mean eBay or Whatnot?
I can address eBay. So I'm I'm gonna list it and whatever. If it takes 4 years to sell, I have a whole basement. I have lots of inventory. I don't rotate. Like every once in a while, maybe in Q1, I'll take a look at stuff. And if it's 2 years or older, I'll run like a 50% off sale or some kind of clearance or send out a coupon.
She said she means buy it now 2-star. So like how many listings do you try to have?
I mean, we had 4,000. This chair and I, Black Friday cannot come quick enough because I'm not going to pay full price. I'm just not that person. We had 4,000 before we moved to Florida, and we dropped down below 2 to have less to move. And we've kind of been steadily building up. We said we were going to get back up to 4 by the end of this year. We're at 27, so lofty goals. I'm not beating myself up though. As long as we have between 2 and 4, I think we're okay for our business model and our volume and what we need for our bills. But everyone's different. So, and I talk about that a lot on this channel, but let me make that very clear. What Keith and I need to pay our bills could be different than what you need. We are debt free. Dave Ramsey for the win. And we have pretty good savings accounts. We're very minimalistic people. But if you have lots of kids or pets or a bigger home or a fancier car or debt, what you're going to need to make every month is going to be different than me. Or if you live in a cabin in the woods and have no bills, it's going to be different. And you could probably have 500. So
right.
You need to figure out what you need for you and then go from there. But I put stuff on sale, but I don't pull stuff. If I bought it and spent the time to take the photos and list it, it's going to sit until it sells. Period.
Yeah, and we have 6,000, and my goal, it's funny, here's the pivoting and changing thing again. 3 months ago, I was trying to decrease my amount of listings. So my goal was to decrease the store, and I had gotten down to like 5,800. And then I got 2 employees that I didn't plan on getting, but I'm not going to turn that away because I looked for help so long, I had given up. Mm-hmm. And then I ran into somebody I used to work with 20 years ago at Walmart, and I never go. I've been to Walmart twice this year. So because my husband does all the shopping, I don't go. So ran into her at Walmart, started talking, and where she was working, she works at a state park, and they were cutting her hours. And I'm like, well, I need help. I had needed help for 6 months at that point. I just had given up. Like, that's why eBay was going down, 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 down. I just couldn't handle everything going on. And so she said, okay, I'll come over. It turns out she lives 2 minutes from me. So she's actually working 4 days a week. And then I had called the high school last year and talked to the teacher that was over the job program at the high school. Never heard from anybody. And the week after I talked to the lady I used to work with, a high school student messages me. So I go from no eBay employees, I did have Whatnot employed, and to 2 eBay employees. And then my niece came back and I had 3 eBay employees. And so the goal of lessening my store changed because now I had people to list, and now it's back up at like, I think 61 or 6,200 listings. And I'm not concerned necessarily about the amount of items as long as I'm making the sales I need to pay everybody and pay myself. And so she said she hates seeing items sit there with 0 views. I don't look at the views because all it takes is 1 for the item to sell. Personally, I don't think there's a point.
And you can have a lot of views. It could be other resellers comping.
And nobody buys it. It doesn't matter.
It could just be somebody comping off of you.
I would buy an eBay store. She's saying she doesn't like paying listing fees. You should at least get like the $5.99 or $9.99 store, and then you're not going to worry about it. Yeah,
you should at least have the minimum one. If you're in the Boss Facebook group, Teresa has a really good chart in there that shows you when you should buy your first store, and I think it's after 250 listings. Once you have the 250,
and that's what I tell everyone too. If you're paying extra fees, you need to get a store.
Yep. And then I wanted to add too, as far as how many listings we keep, Keith and I once or twice a year will go into like push mode and we'll like do a bunch. When he and I get to the point where we cannot handle it, and we would need an employee, we back down because we don't want employees. It's not a goal that we've ever had. We don't work well with others. I'm a control freak. I just don't. And it's a personal choice. But if we get to the point where it looks like, oh, shoot, we're going to need a storage unit. We have too much stuff. Or, oh, this is too much for us to handle. We will back down. We will take a step back so that we can keep it in our house with just the two of us because that's what we choose to do. Neither way is wrong. That's what I always tell people. It's whatever you need.
It's so personalized.
It's what you want or need in life. If you're content in a cabin in the woods shooting your own food, and you only need to make $500 a month, and that's what you like, that's not wrong.
That sounds so beautiful. That really sounds beautiful.
You want to live in a 20-bedroom mansion and have 5 Lamborghinis and 20,000 employees, that's fine too. It's whatever. It's personalized, like she said. I keep clicking the wrong one. Do you pay your employees hourly or by listing number?
So typically by listing, but I do make sure they make at least minimum wage. And if they're not doing enough to make minimum wage, then I talk to them. But typically they make about $15 to $20 an hour. One of them I kind of do a meshed thing because she is actually kind of stepped up, the one that I used to work with, and she is almost managing the high school student for me. So I'm not a people person. So she'll lay out the listings for the high school student to do every day for me. So that takes time from her listing. So I actually give her extra money because she is kind of helping organize. When we bought the 2,000 boxes, she did all the organizing. And I think I might train her to ship. That's my control thing. And I don't want to put time into training someone because shipping is a lot for me because we do a lot of breakables that she was only here 3 days a week. Now she's here 4 though. So I think she's here enough to train her that. Mm-hmm. And when they're doing multiple stuff, I pay them by the hour because I can't control how much they're doing. But for listings, I pay them $2 a listing. And that is simply taking the pictures and composing the draft. I do all of the research and pricing. So they are finding something, selling is similar, and uploading the photos. And then I go research, price, and list it and kind of, double check what they put in there. So, and then if they do 100 a week, I give them a $50 bonus. So then they're making $250 a listing.
$50. That's nice. I want to come work for you. If I ever lose my store, I'm going to move back to Florida and work for you.
If I worked for me, I would be broke because I can turn out some listings when I want to.
Yeah, I did 60 the other day in an afternoon after lunch.
Yeah.
In one day. When I want to be fast, I have a type A personality, so I can sit down and hyper focus on one thing and just do a ton of it really quick.
Yeah.
I don't really necessarily ever really want to be off the grid. I just don't like leaving the house. And most days
I don't leave the house often either.
Most days I just want to be in my pajamas with no makeup and looking fugly, and I don't want to deal with anybody. But I'm okay with the people in the box. Like on Fridays, I do these live shows, and then I have a listing party. I like interacting with people that way. So I need my internets, but I just I went to the store the other day and I looked at Keith and I'm like, am I just getting older and crotchetier, or are there just too many people in this store right now? And there's 5 people. There's 5 other people. How dare they go shopping when I am? But I was like, they're just in here and they're fugly. I haven't heard that in a while. You haven't seen me on my non-shower days. It's pretty scary. Okay, we are getting to the hour, so I have to ask you the one question I ask everybody before we go.
Oh gosh.
There's 3, but this is my favorite to ask people. It's so fun. How do you feel about it when people say that resellers are stealing from the poor and that we're all sleazy bad people?
I think they are absolutely ridiculous. I think that like we're out here supporting ourselves, and maybe we're the poor people and we're making ourselves better. Yeah, if these charities are so good, they would give the stuff to them. And I know some of the thrift stores will, but like if somebody can't afford a jacket and it's $20 at Goodwill, they probably can't afford it there either because the prices are so high. So, and most of the time, the stuff they need isn't name brand high dollar stuff that a lot of us are picking up. You know, it's the stuff that we're passing on. Like I do collectibles. You can't tell me that somebody has to have a porcelain statue. That is not a need for somebody that is needy. That is a want. So I sell wants more than needs. I do some clothes, but I always say this, and then when I go thrifting, I pick up like 90% clothes. So I'm like making a liar of myself, but like you don't have to have a t-shirt, you know, like there's tons of stuff at the thrift store. There's tons of stuff for people and for us, I feel. Yeah, like it, yeah.
Well, and a lot of stuff still goes to the landfills.
It does. It does. And or it goes overseas. So one of the thrift stores I go to, they pay like somebody picks up bales of it for like 50 cents a pound and it goes overseas. So
I'd rather do that than go to the landfills, but in the spring and summer, I pay $1 a piece. So I get like 2,000 pieces a week, right? Because I'm already hoarding for the next winter. And even with me doing that much and all the other resellers around here, they're still shipping stuff out to the landfills or overseas or whatever. Like I can't even buy enough to keep it out of the landfills.
And most of those charities, if they're doing what they should be doing, they're taking our money that we're spending on things and they're helping people with that money. So we're helping. And
I don't advertise it because I don't need the accolades and I don't do it. I don't donate money to be recognized for it. You know what I mean? But I do donate to charities all the time. I have some that are close to my heart that I give to all the time. And I do try to pick thrift stores too that aren't mainstream, that you know are giving to the shelters and the DV victims and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you can always donate to charity and make yourself feel better. And I donate stuff back too. Like I'll get bags of clothing from friends for free and it's not stuff I can sell. So I'll just go donate it to a church, or we have programs here, like you said, where they will give homeless people or people looking for a job outfits and stuff like that.
Like they should be giving them like the jackets and blankets, and if they need it, they shouldn't have to buy it. That's how I feel.
All right. So the last two questions tie into my most important message on this channel, that work and life balance is so super important. Because if you work all the time, you're burnt out and you're no good for anybody or yourself. But if you fiddle fart around all the time, you're not getting any work done. So you got to find that balance. So, Kat, what do you do to unwind?
Nothing. I like to do like, and I mean that, like binging Netflix and sitting there and watching. I do that while I'm working too, though. So yeah. We go out on the boat occasionally. We like to drive. We are very country. We like to go to the dirt roads and drive through the nature preserves and look for animals. And nothing. I like to do nothing. That's what I like to do.
Nothing. What are you doing this weekend?
Oh, you went out. What'd you say?
What are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? Nothing.
Good.
I was supposed to be going down to spend time with my best friend. What am I watching currently? Virgin River, and I am addicted to it. And I didn't even know it existed till 2 days ago, and now I can't turn the dang thing off. Virgin River on Netflix. It's about a nurse who moved to the middle of nowhere because her husband died. And I like the love and sappy stuff. I know, listen, Star likes horror, I know, but I like the love and sap. Oh, and I like true crime too, though. I'm a watch crime and crazy stuff too. I like true crime and I like NCIS and all of that. But I also like the lovey-dovey stuff. So Virgin River is what I'm watching.
I just finished
right now.
True Blood last night. I had never finished
I
this
will
series.
watch them over and over, like, because I forget. I've watched so many, I just will recycle through it. Because I have to have background noise, so I'm like halfway watching it.
Yes.
But Virgin River, I have to watch, and it distracts me. So
I have two distinct genres of my shows. Like I have the ones I can watch while I'm working, which is mostly true crime, just all day in the background, and Friends I can watch on repeat. And then there's shows you have to sit and pay attention to.
Yeah, I'll like sit and rewind it. I'll be like, no, I just missed that, and I rewind it. Football, I like to have on. I'm a big football fan. My husband hates it. We are backwards in our house. He puts on his headphones and ignores me. So probably all day tomorrow and Sunday, football will be on in my house. Dalton will watch it with me, and my mom is a big football fan. But that's something I can have in the background as long as it's not my team. If it's my team, then I can't have it in the background. I got to pay attention. But other than that, I let it play. I have on my shirt, the Gators. I worked for University of Florida. That's where I was a nurse, was at University of Florida. I used to hate them just to contradict my mother who went to college there, but now I like them.
So, do you have any last words of wisdom for the folks?
I think the biggest thing we touched on several times is you guys got to do what works for you. Like, don't get in that compare game and compare yourself to other people, because what works for me isn't going to work for Star, isn't going to work for you. And it's a very, very bad circle to fall down into when you start comparing yourself to other people. So figure out what works for you, pull from different people. But like, I still have nursing student loans. I'm trying Dave Ramsey, and I paid my car half off, so I am making progress. But like, I need a ton more income than a lot of people do. So like, do your own thing and figure out what works for you. Take pieces and learn, but build your own business model. You can, kind of model after somebody, but I would say exactly is not going to work for anybody. And if you try to do that, you'll be very, very disappointed. That would be my biggest thing.
And don't compare yourself to their lifestyle either. So don't get caught up in the keeping up with the Joneses. Don't think that just because this reseller has a nice car, you have to have a nice car if you've never been interested in cars before. Don't spend your money on stuff.
I've had a nice car for a long time, and I love it. And it has over 100,000 miles.
I buy beaters. But spend your money. What I'm trying to say is spend your money on what makes you happy, not what makes Kat happy or what you see me showing off.
If you like the Louis Vuitton purses, I'll have a couple in a few weeks if you'd like them. But like, I could care less about purses, clothes, and shoes. I like to go do things. Like, we like to take trips. So do what. Yeah, I agree. Do what makes, and if it makes you happy to have those purses and shoes, then work hard to get them, Like, I believe in busting my butt if I want something.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you got to do what makes you happy. So if spending all your money on books or movies or video games or whatever, or trips, museums, whatever it is that makes you happy, do that, not what makes me happy. You don't have to be like anybody else but yourself. Yes. And that work-life balance, again, is so important. So make sure you take time off this weekend, even if just to go for a walk for 15 minutes outside, read a book, watch a TikTok, something. You can't work all the time, because then you're not mentally healthy, and then you're not good for yourself. And when you're not good for yourself, you're not good for your friends or family. Oh, thank you. That's my nerd face. Thank you so much for coming on, Kat. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on here. And everyone that watched, thank you for joining us. And if you're watching the replay, I appreciate that too. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. In the description box is Kat's Whatnot, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you're not following her on all three, make sure you are. And have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.